You know I want it. New song I just heard by Lindsay Webster. She is one of my favorite jazz singers. She's so good. And I just found out that she's going to be in Hampton Roads pretty soon. But like I was saying before one time, y'all, certain concerts you can't go as a single person because you will be the only person there looking at a bunch of couples. And that ain't cool. At least not for me. Thank you to whoever hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you. Michael, what's up? What it do? He said, what's going on, lady? I think that's what WSG stand for. Is that what that means? Nothing much. Soccer practice. Yeah, there's some kids playing soccer over here. It looks like they actually have a game. My son is not playing soccer this season because I effed up as a parent and didn't register him on time. So no soccer for him this season, but he's doing boxing. So he's all right. And I'll make sure he gets his cardio in other ways. What's up, Judge? Watching my Texans over here. Are they winning? It means what's good. Okay. Not what's going on. Dang it. See, I'm old. Thanks for putting me up on game. The lingo. How are you guys doing today? How's your Sunday going? I just got back from camping this weekend. Me and my son had an opportunity to go to this conference that was in the woods. That was an hour away. And so they had dormitories, and it was relatively, what's the word? It wasn't as expensive as I thought it would be. It was affordable. And so they had a dormitory, and we stayed there. The room smelled like mold. I don't know if that was just the wood chips or whatever. I don't know. But there was a ton of bunk beds, and my son wanted to sleep on the top, so I slept on the one across from him. And I was scared the whole time him or me was going to fall off because they were up pretty high. But we did good. Oh, they winning. Okay, what's the score? Michael said, good, we went out shopping today and we got a bunch of diapers. There you go. Prepping. That's what you got to do. And just stack them up. Every time you guys get paid, just buy a bundle or a box, because you're going to run through them. So that's good. Shopping. Yeah, so we just got back from there. And before we came and dropped them off at boxing, I was able to unpack all of our bags and throw everything in the laundry. So I just got one more load to go and then we'll be good. But the experience was awesome. I didn't spend much time on social media, which is always a blessing, and something that I feel is necessary, but also very hard, as I am addicted to social media. Yeah, Judge, I went camping. So it was fun. My son had fun. I was able to get what I needed to get out of the experience, as well as, hang out with my son and stuff like that. And there were people that have been coming to that camp for years that all know each other. So it was a little cliquish. There were people there that knew each other from years before, because they hold this conference every year at the same time, right? And so it's windy out here, y'all. My dad is inviting us to a party for Buffalo's Get nice. Make sure you enjoy. Bigfoot gonna snatch. Watch it. I know, right? I was scared about bears and stuff like that, but actually we didn't see too much wildlife. The mosquitoes ate me up. But they had a big campfire that they kept burning the whole time. The goal was for everybody to pitch in and just make sure that the wood, that it stays burning the whole time, and we didn't let it go out at all. So even people that were up at 3, 4 in the morning, you know, or if you get up early, make sure you add some wood to or whatever, and it burned the whole time. And it rained, what, Friday night on our way there, pretty bad earlier. And but thank God on my way there, it wasn't that bad. It was raining, but it wasn't bad like it was earlier in the day, you know. So all of the residuals from Hurricane Helene, you know, always comes up here. We always feel it up here. When I got back a couple hours ago, only thing is my I didn't notice my back fence was still up, and the power had went out. But other than that, no issues. So I'm really blessed, you know. And shout out to all the people that are enduring the effects of Hurricane Helene. May God be over you guys. Michael says, as I am not from where Emily is. Oh, okay. Where are you from, Michael? Anonymous says, how are you? How are babies made? Look it up. Google. You find everything out on Google. Paul, what's up? Kamala is like the border. That is not nice. We are voting for Trump, though. Judge said, why you ran off the last... Oh, man, that is my bad. I am so sorry, y'all. I felt so bad about that, too. I did not mean to do that. But my son had come out of his meeting, and I didn't want his doctor to be online. So I said bye, though. It's not like I just said click, but I had to go. I'm sorry about that, because y'all was in the middle of typing something, too, and I wanted to read it. I was like, dang it. Kamala 2024. Okay, Anonymous. Paul, don't get polo. Don't get political. Yeah, I'm not even on that political type of time right now. I mean, it be always on my mind, but for the most part right now, But yeah, Kamala, we can't. I was trying to watch the Saturday Night Live. You know how they do their opening act with Maya Rudolph and the other guy pretending to be Kamala, and then the reporter from whoever that guy was that hosted the debate. It didn't look like it was funny. I only got to see a couple of minutes of it till I had to go, but Simeon, I'm sorry, y'all. The sun is not letting me read. Hello, beautiful queen. I'm from North Carolina. Okay, North Carolina, are you guys safe? Did you have any damage? Trump all the way. That's what's up. Oh, you're from Buffalo, New York. Okay, that's upstate, right? Yeah. Buffalo, that's close to Canada, right? I have yet to make it to Buffalo. I've been to Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Harlem, Manhattan. Yeah, that's it. I always wanted to live in New York. Always. When I was younger, when I thought New York was it, the place to be, I always said on my 21st birthday, I'm going to watch the ball drop in Times Square. And that never happened. And then I got older, and then I got to visit New York, and I was like, I'm good. Especially when I visited New York, it was a January or February. I never felt cold like that before. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. The way that wind would just cut through your soul like that. I said, no, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Let's see, what does Simeon say? Oh, no damage there. Good for you. Judge says, vote who you want. You still black. No matter who you, damn right about that, Judge. It don't matter who you vote for. You still black, and we still got to face the consequences of people's biases and prejudice and racism and shit. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Men don't do that. Paul says, I'll let Biden say it. Kamala, you ain't black. We love you, Janet Jackson. That's right. Michael says, oh, you're probably from so you moved back and forth from Bronx to Buffalo. It's a big difference, isn't it? Josh says, my best friend is in the Army. He was from Buffalo. Yeah. I met a couple of people at this camping conference. He was from Brooklyn. I meet so many people from Brooklyn. I feel like every week I meet at least one person from Brooklyn. You know, very sociable people. New Yorkers, you guys are very, very sociable. You guys like to keep in touch with people. You guys are very like friendly oriented, and like you guys like value friendship and keeping in touch with stuff. Who's that on here? Oh, look at Mike T. What's going on, Mike T? Have you heard of MAGA Jackson? No. Simi, you crazy. But yeah, a lot of these people at this conference, they were clicked up. This was my first year going. I decided to take my son this year because another woman that I know, she was bringing her children, and she said it's always an awesome experience when she takes her kids. So I was like, let me bring my son this time, and I'll never do that again. Because when I want to focus on what it is that I need to get for my healing, I can't bring my son. There just has to be a separation. You know what I mean? And making sure that he was fully entertained and not on his tablet the whole time. And another set of kids, but they were a little bit older and they were on their devices the whole time. You know, so I had to entertain him. So me and him played soccer, basketball, went swimming, and there was some other adults in the pool, some guys that kind of took him under their wing and was showing him stuff and was playing catch and throw in the pool. So that occupied him for a little bit. But yeah, that drained me out, you know. And then it got hot yesterday. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, okay, well, let me do this activity where I could bring him, you know, versus, you know, the workshops and things like that. But overall, it was a good thing. Me and him got into it one time because my son is one of the type of people, he likes to talk shit. He's very competitive like me. Like, we are very, very competitive people, right? And anytime I'm losing, he has to gloat. It's like his thing. Like, he has to do it, you know? And sometimes it gets on my nerves where I have to check on him, like, you could calm down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll be thinking, am I just hating, stopping him from gloating, or am I just, you know? So most of the time I let him get away with it. So anyways, we were playing cornhole, you know, and soon as I got one in, mind you, we both suck, okay? The first time I get one in, he starts, you know, acting a fool, stomping, his face goes up like this, and I'm just like, bruh, like, you a little too old to be pouting like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your problem? You know, I was like, are you gonna, what, do you want to stop now? You want to give up or whatever? Then he got really mad and started to raise his voice, and I had to pull him into the chapel that was on the side, you know, and he was like, no, he was like, because you're talking mess and you're saying I'm gonna give up. And I'm like, bro, I was like, I'm just, you know, banter like you do me. I said, so it's okay for you to do that to me, but I can't do it to you. I was like, okay, I see how it is, you know. I said, but either we gonna both be able to talk shit and let it be, or we just not gonna be able to do it, you know, with each other. You know, I can't censor how I talk shit, you know what I'm saying? I just can't, like, But we got over it. I made him do some push-ups, get that frustration out a little bit. He almost sounds like Michael Jackson. Okay, I have to check it out. I identify as non-binary. What? That is funny. Just saying what's up to Mike T. Michael says, bro, let him talk. He should. I played high school basketball and I was always talking shit. Right, and that's how you get in people's heads, right? You talk shit and then it throws them off their game, you know? Because we also had a spades tournament at this conference. And one of the other ladies who is a reigning champion, she was saying that her partner, or the people that they actually beat this year, they were talking so much shit to the people that they won to get, because it was a tournament. And he said once he started talking shit, he said the other couple just lost it and they could not focus and they could just never recover, you know? But that's the strategy. And I tell that to my son too. I was like, you have to be able to, I was like, yo, like, you like basically gave up after I won. I didn't even really get a chance to really talk. He was jealous, you know what I'm saying? And that threw him more, was thrown all over the place. And then the further his to the right, the more mad he got. And I'm just like, okay, you know, but that's part of it. Like, you got to be able to control and regulate your emotions better. And I keep teaching them that, you know, all the time, because it's, especially if you in sports, you know, just really in life, you have to be able to. My mama always taught me, never let them see you sweat. Never let them see you sweat, you know? And I don't. And I did that the whole time I was in the military for the most part. There were a couple of times where I broke down, but for the most part, no. I didn't let them see me sweat. You about to get the best of me. You ain't gonna ever think you got the best of me. Period. And then I'm gonna go cry in the car. You know? You said, never mind. Just as I was scared to talk back to mom and she didn't play. Right. Michael says, I almost fought someone at one game and now he's one of my best friends. Yeah, it'd be like that too. It'd be that one person that you just think you ain't gonna ever get along with or you don't like for some reason, just be something about them, right? And then most of the time you end up being super cool. That's happened to me a couple times. It was like, it's something about her, I just don't. You know, and then by coincidence we end up chatting and then end up becoming like super, super cool. That's happened a couple times. That's why now if I get like a weird feeling about somebody, I kind of just, I don't hold on to it. I let them prove, you know, who they are, if they cool or not, you know, and then go from there. I can't go off of these weird feelings because oftentimes it don't be nothing but jealousy or envy or something about them you don't like, maybe, I don't know. So Mike says people are usually gonna try. Oh yeah. Yep, I feel like that's the way of the word now, way of the world now. Most people are going to try you. They're going to try you because this is really spiritual warfare. The demon has his hands, the devil has his hands in a lot of people right now. He is using a lot of people. That's what he does. He uses people. Because if you think about it, the only way to end up being upset about something is usually something that somebody else caused or did or said. It's not just the world or this object. No, it's usually another human doing something that is going to irritate the hell out of you. But I try to just keep moving on, you know. I don't know. I met a couple of people there that said they met people there that they still keep in touch with, that they met like 5 years ago, and they were like, yeah, we hang out and we see each other, we talk at least once a week, and we always make sure that we meet up at this conference every year. And you know, I'm a sociable person for the most part, but I'm not very, very outgoing, you know what I'm saying? I kind of let people drift towards me, and then if we click, we click. If not, but I probably, so okay, first of all, there was probably, how many, I could count the number of black people, of course. Let's see. It was probably like a total of 5 out of 120. Well, 120 registered. It didn't seem like there was 120 people though. It may have been close to like 90. But yeah, there was only 5 of us. Me and one other black woman. Yeah, me and one other black woman. Yeah, me and one other black woman. And then 3 black men. Yep. So that was interesting. But you know, when you do things that are just not like the norm or whatever, you know, and you live, I guess where I live, it's gonna be like that, you know. And my therapist told me one time, she said, sometimes you're just gonna have to be the ink, you're gonna have to be the ink spot, you know. It is what it is. She's like, as long as you're getting something out of it, you know. Dang it. I don't know why this looks like that. Mike says, I'm wanting to become an actor. I'm a very good actor. Something like Snowfall, like Emily wants to become a director. Okay, that is an awesome show. What kind of conference? So it was a AA conference. You know, so you have meetings and group and different workshops and things like that. And so the opportunity came up and I was like, yeah, my son's been wanting to go camping, let me go. We'll go, you know. But it was cool. Something to do, you know. And yeah, I ended up connecting with somebody that I've seen around but never really got close to, and so learned a lot about that person. They learned a lot about me. We swapped numbers. Yeah, it was cool. I would have liked to have more engagement with people, but I'm not one of those people that just like interject. Like if people are in a group and they're having, I'm not just gonna sit down and then start talking. That's just not me, you know. So I think that things happen the way they're supposed to, for the most part. But yeah, Snowfall is an awesome show. One of my favorites. Franklin Saint is my favorite character in the show. Franklin showed some range, for sure. I loved it when Franklin crashed out because I know the feeling. Like I've been there before. Like when you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but everybody around you ain't playing their position right, and you be cool, and you try to be the bigger person, and then you just have to spaz out every once in a while. I know exactly. I know exactly. Every time he spazzed out, that shit was funny as hell, but it was warranted. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me talking about his mom in the ending. I get mad every time I think about it. Just says out in the woods with the it's not something I would do. Yeah, but the thing is, when it comes to like these organizations and things like that, it would be different. Like, okay, so I used to go on this other lady's YouTube channel, right? And there was a guy on there who was a regular, and he lived in West Virginia, and so she plans trips to go different places. They go overseas. They, go to the Caribbean. They go different places in the States. She's met up with a bunch of them. I put my money in to meet with them in Texas at it's supposed to be this November, but I don't think I'm gonna go. But there's a guy in the group who wants people to come to his place. Now he, comments regularly. He's a part of this group, but it's mainly black people in the chat. And he's got some acreage in West Virginia. Okay, remember I've talked about West Virginia a lot, how beautiful it is and everything. And he wants people to come out there, whatever. And she's telling him, all right, we're gonna set it up, we're gonna go, whatever. They ain't set it up yet. And I know why. It's not gonna happen. It is not gonna happen. And then she was trying to get numbers to see if people actually wanted to go, and I was like, I can't do that. I'm sorry, I don't know him. At least with this, I knew there were gonna be people there that I knew from the program that were gonna be there, trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? And I brought my 380, so and me and my son got a dorm to ourselves, so I was able to lock the doors, type stuff. So it really wasn't nothing to worry about. We were safe. And that's one big thing about being in this program. Integrity is a big thing. So honestly, I didn't feel. But yeah, everybody, you should have some level of caution in the back of your mind. Michael says, it reminds me of when I was 10 to 17 in the Bronx, and how, hold on, and how good it was and stuff, like how people had all that gang type stuff, because I used to be in a gang, but I stopped after oh, okay, you stopped after you met Emily, that's good. Yeah, a lot of those shows could make you reminisce about back in the day, when you did stupid shit. But even back then, things were a lot simpler, right? Like there were rules to life and you just abided by them. Everybody got along. Everybody played their position. Now you have to worry about people not playing fair, and that's just the way it is. Nobody plays fair, and a lot of people are driven by money. The root of all evil is money. Have you guys ever watched a show called The Circle? I think it's more for like Gen Alpha and Gen Z kids. But I started watching it because one of my favorite YouTubers reviews the show, and I like competition games, right? So like right now I'm watching The Anonymous. I watched Traders on Peacock. Love the Traders. I love that shit. Like any type of whodunit, I love it, right? So The Circle is weird. It's different. It's really based on social media. You have these players and their goal is to win $100,000. And they're in this building, but they all have their own separate apartment. And they're they go by their social media handles. Some people are catfishing, some people are not. But the goal is to be ranked the highest every time. And once you are ranked number 1 and number 2 by everybody in the competition, you become an influencer. And an influencer can decide to block anybody in that group. And once you get blocked, you're out of the game. So the goal really is to build alliances, to make people trust you, things like that. And one thing I noticed about this game, I was telling my son earlier, is that the people that have stayed in the game the longest or that keep getting to the top have been the only ones that have lied. The people that were honest, forthcoming, weren't catfishing, or were just genuine about everything that they said about themselves. Their pictures were real. What they do for a living is real. How they feel about such and such is real. Those people ended up getting the boot. Ain't that something? The people that were actually real and honest and genuine and forthcoming were the ones that got the boot. But the people that have lied, sneaked, and threw false crap out there are the ones that end up staying. You know? So I don't know who's going to win, but I think that is a real depiction of how life in society is right now. You got a lot of fakers and phony people out here. People that claim they love the Lord, but they really don't, based on their actions and what comes out of their mouth. You know, people that are willing to steal and to lie in order to get sympathy, you know. And there was one part where one of the girls, very pretty black girl in there, she, you know, whenever she goes to try to form these connections with people, she's coming at people with a genuine heart when she's saying, hey, listen, let's bury the hatchet. I know we kind of got into it in the chat, but I'm coming to you, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. And then she tells them the same story about, you know, growing up in a violent home and da-da-da-da. And I'm just thinking, you keep using that same story, you know, to gain sympathy. So anyways, another new person came in and they pulled that same shit on her. And she said, you know what? I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to use that sympathy card on me to try to get close to me so that I don't block her if I become influencer, right? And I said, exactly. I said, game recognized game. People know, because she knows she's been using that same tactic on other people. So when somebody came with her, she was able to peg it, you know. But that's how people are. They use the sympathy. They tell you the same tired old story over and over and over and over again to gain sympathy. But we can't let it. We can't let that rule, you know, how we feel about them or make us trust them even more because they have a sad story. Because truth be told, everybody got a fucking story, right? We all done been through something, and all of us are still going through something. So she made you change. What was it about her, Michael? Tell us. Judge says, I don't watch TV, only for the news. I hate reality. I know, reality shows. Listen, I stopped watching. You know, I used to be, of course, look at me. I used to be into Love and Hip Hop. I watched that probably for like the first 7 or 8 seasons. And then that got redundant and stupid and ignorant. What else? The Real Housewives. I used to watch all of that stuff. Yeah, reality TV. I started out with Real World, like most people. I think that was like the first reality TV show. But I love competition shows, whether it's reality or scripted or whatever. Like The Trust. What's another one? I just like all of them. I don't know. For some reason, it just makes me think a little bit more, you know. But I mean, TV is what it is. It's the idiot box, right? Less TV, which is why I'm a little proud of myself for not being online as much this weekend. You know, so I'm like, dang, if I could go a couple of days without, you know, getting online like that, then I could, you know, make this a lifestyle. But everything has to become a habit, right? So I have to do it over and over again. So when I pick my son up, I have to make a conscious effort to not get on my phone and watch something. So I'm going to have to say a prayer and actually pray that God will fill that void so that, you know, or at least give me some ideas of what to do instead. I mean, there's always something I could be doing. I know that. I'd rather gain respect than sympathy. Yeah, exactly. Respect me for my character and for what I say I'm going to do, and if I do it, you know, stuff like that. I don't like that sympathy shit either. Let's see what Michael said about Emily. This is what made this man change his whole life for a woman. He says how beautiful she is and how I just said goodbye to goodbye to all that life and stuff. I didn't want to do anything stupid. You didn't want to mess it up because you knew a good thing. You knew when you found a good thing, right? And you gave up those childish ways to become a man because you knew that that woman was going to depend on you. That's a good man right there. That's a real man. Absolutely. Good for you, Michael. I'm glad you recognize that, you know, and not make her like me. Yeah, because birds of a feather do flock together, right? You hang out with somebody enough. That's why they say, you know, bad influences and things like that. Like, even if you are strong in who you are and you are assured with who you are, you know who you are, you know whose you are, right? Just being in that bad company, eventually, because we are human and we are infallible, we can have a tendency to take on the characteristics of people that we hang around. So it is very, very important. I'm not saying cut people off, but you got to limit sometimes that interaction, you know, or certain things that you do with people, because either you're going to start to justify why that person is doing what they're doing, and the next thing you know, you doing it because you actually believe what the hell you didn't justify it. It happens all the time. I was a follower. That's why I started smoking cigarettes. And 20-something years later, I'm still smoking. Because I was being a follower, thinking it was okay. No. That's one thing I wish I had never picked up, you know? Quitting alcohol was easier than quitting cigarettes. Ain't that some shit? Michael says, I was influenced by all these people that, let me see. Okay, Michael says, I was influenced by all these people that killed and stole. I thought that was all there was until I met the love of my life and knew I couldn't mess it up. Yeah. Sometimes we be thinking that's it, you know, that this is all there is to life. There's so much more, but we need that motivation. Sometimes we need that motivation for us to see that there is more to life than what we currently have now. But it's up to us to find it, you know. It really is. Because I've been in this weird wet rut because of the weather. But I know that there's more to what it is now. I know that there's more to what I have now. I have so much to live for, so much to do. I just got to get going. No excuses. No excuses, you know. But let me finish telling y'all about the circle. This is probably the most disappointing thing, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but I'm sure I will, okay? So in the game, there are 2 black males, and I'm only going to focus on the black male because this is the part that's disappointing for me, okay? So the black female that, you know, kind of used her history, her story to kind of gain sympathy from people and to kind of, I think what it was mostly, I think her intention mostly was just to be vulnerable, to show a different side of her so that they know that they could trust her, right? But she is one of the genuine ones. She's the one that keeps it real. She don't lie about who she don't trust or anything. She's a straight one, right? She keeps it 100 for the most part. She was crushing on the only other straight black male there, okay? And so they called each other, you know, circle husbands, circle wives, right? Now, the whole time she's had his back. Even when everybody else in the chat was going after her man, her husband, her game husband, she would go to bat for her man. She even took L's and went to the bottom of the ranking because she stood up for this guy, right? Now, mind you, her guy, the only other black straight male who they've been flirting with since day one, they were locked in, right? They were an alliance, right? So if she ever became influencer, she would make sure he would never get blocked if he became the same, right? So you understand their situation. So there was a time where he got ranked at the very bottom, okay? So what he did was, because he was ranked at the bottom, he had the opportunity to pick an influencer. The influencer, like I said, has the ability to either block somebody, and if you block somebody, that gets them out. So you would hope, you would think that the person that the dude, the husband, the boyfriend in the group, that he would pick somebody that he knows has his back, and that influencer would block, eliminate somebody that has it out for him, right? But what does he do instead? Instead of picking the one other person, the black female that was on his side, had his back publicly and privately, did he pick her to be an influencer to save him because he was at the very bottom? No, he didn't. You know who he picked? He picked another white boy that he had to question whether he had his loyalty or not before he decided to pick him as an influencer. He got on there and asked him, he said, bro, I just want to make sure that you and I are still on the same page, because the last time we chatted, things didn't go so well. So I just want to make sure that you and I are still locked in. What did the guy do? The white dude. He lied to him. He told him exactly what he wanted him to hear so that he would get picked. And instead of him, the black dude, picking the one person that had his back from day one, he picked the one person that he wasn't even sure about. Why is that, you guys? Why do you think that is? Now, I'm going to give it to him. He is younger. He is a millennial. No, maybe a Gen Z. He was a Gen Z. He was like in his mid-20s, you know. So maybe his critical thinking skills and his level of discernment wasn't all the way up there. But I just want to know, to me, it just makes me, you know how we always say, you know, you have to let a man lead. But then when you do, this is the type of shit that happens. Because the girl that he was with, the girl that he was locked in with, she would have never done that. She would have went for the person that has had her back the whole time. What would make this guy pick somebody that he wasn't even sure of? So when we say we need men to lead, this is what we mean. Don't do anything that's going to harm the family. Don't cut our chances of winning because of why. I'm still trying to figure out why. So at the end of that, he had so the white guy blocked him, got him out of there, okay? Lied and said, "No, bro, I got you. We locked in, you got nothing to worry about." Then when it was his time to choose who he wanted to block, he blocked him, the same person that let him be influencer. So when he got blocked, he had an opportunity to go to any of those people to get some information or to just tell a secret or whatever. He chose to go to her. Do you think he was honest and told the girl, the one who's had his back, just so you know, I had an opportunity to pick you, but I chose him? No, absolutely not. Because he's a punk and he has no integrity, and he's gonna let her find out while the rest of us are watching the show. Meanwhile, they're out rekindling a relationship because they really were serious about each other. But to me, that's just some bullshit. And it's just like, is this really how people think nowadays? Like, is this how our young people are moving in life? Are they going with what looks good, but they know in their heart of hearts, this ain't right, but I'm going to just do it anyway and see what happens and hope for the best? That's wrong. And I'm just thinking the whole time, who raised you, bruh? Who raised you? You got to have more discernment than that. Josh said, I am pretty much who I always have been, just more refined. Yeah, with age, you're supposed to, right? That's what I do, man. That's right, Michael. Keep doing that. Keep being a good man. Judge says, maybe he not really straight. You know what? So that's the thing too, Judge. So I'm watching the show, right? Now, mind you, there's a gay black man, and then there's because it seems like on all these shows, they have to at least have one gay black male as a representation. It's like standard now, you know? And no offense to gay people, you guys do what you do. I have no judgment. I really don't care less what the fuck you do. But as far as the influence and things like that, there's certain things I just can't allow my son to watch, right? So I screen everything. Like, there's some show that just came out that he wants to see about this teacher. It looks cool. I said, but it's rated TVMA. Let me watch it first, son, and then we'll see. But I can't have him every time he watches a movie or a show, the only black representation is a black male that's gay. Fuck out of here with that. Fuck out of here with that. I'm not doing it. So I was thinking that, so before the gay black male came, he was the only straight one. But as I'm looking at him and watching his mannerisms, and this is before the gay one came, I was like, something about him, and I couldn't put my finger on it. But I think that might be it. Because if you value your relationship with that white boy who clearly did not F with you, but you wanted him to, over her, what does that say about you? And that would be a good explanation. Maybe he's not straight. Or, like a lot of people, we take for granted maybe he was taking her for granted, knowing, well, she's so smitten with me, she'll forgive me. Let me just pick him and see what happens. It still don't make sense. That really is a viable explanation, Judge. I'm gonna give it to you. Because I thought when he started talking, I was like, something about him. Michael says, I think us men just trust people way too easily. Yeah, I think women trust men more than men do, though. You know, just like Eve and how she ate from the tree that she wasn't supposed to, because she was too trusting. You know. And if you watch any of these shows that come on, like Married at First Sight and things like that, a lot of these women make some really, really bad decisions when choosing their partners and stuff like that. Too trusting, too trustworthy. Yeah, I've been there. We all been got before. We all done got, you know. I was watching somebody's live the other day because I was trying to see something. I was trying to check on something right quick, and found out that this person lied to me. And I was like, what? Too trusting. You know, and at first I was mad, I was angry, because I sent this person something out of the kindness of my heart. And, you know, that's my money. I have a child. That's the worst part. I have a kid. I could have spent that money on anything else. I could have got him a dinner or something with that food. But instead, because I wanted that person to be enlightened or to present an opportunity for us to make money together, I sent this person something, think that I was helping, and turn out they didn't even get it. And they literally sat up on their live and said, thank you. I got it. Yo, this world is wild. This world is wild. And I don't even know. And the reason for them lying doesn't even make sense. Well, it does. If a person doesn't have discernment, it would make all the sense. It would make sense, you know, why they would lie about that. Because only real recognizes real. But if you don't have discernment, you don't have that connection with him, you're not able to tell a real person from a phony person. Because I've always been nothing but real, you know. It's too bad that that person couldn't see it. You know, and that's the thing too, like, these people at these conferences, you know, they made friends, the people that they stayed in touch with, you know. And I don't make friends that easily. So whenever I do and I feel connected to somebody, it's for real for me. I take it seriously, you know. When I care, I care. But if I get signs and things like that, that discernment kicks in. The Holy Spirit says, hold on, you're doing too much, chill, stop, pause. I listen, you know. I'm going to still keep that person as a friend, but at the end of the day, I cherish people that I cherish, and they're going to know that I cherish them, you know, by the way I speak to them, the way I treat them, the things that I do for them, you know. And for somebody to act like they really cared about me and then lie about something that I don't even know if I can get my money back for that, you know. And it wasn't a lot of money, but it's the principalities behind it. What I could have did with that. Why would somebody do that? That's crazy to me. Crazy to me. Ain't never gave you a reason to think I would do something foul, send you something foul in them. Like, whew. Like I say, the devil uses people. This is his playground. So he jumps into people. and uses them, their traumas, things that they haven't worked out, the stuff they going through. And they will project that shit onto people that really have their own best interest. But they don't even know it because they got that demon inside of them that they haven't released yet. But I'm not going to stop being a nice person for those that seem genuine to me. And I'll just trust until I can't trust no more and keep it moving. Try not to take shit too personal, you know? Judge says, those shows are scripted. Yeah, they are scripted. You're right. Yeah, they are scripted. I'm hoping that they didn't. Well, I'm hoping actually that they did convince the black dude to pick him instead of her. Maybe that was something that the producers made him do and he really wanted to pick her. But I don't know. It's just all, it's weird. But I like to see how people think. Look at Donovan. I did not lie to you. Love the live. Share, share, share. Thanks, Donovan. You look like you had so much fun at that Jeffrey Osborne concert. And the lady you was with, she seems cool. She looked like a good old time. I was like, ooh, her and Donovan got some fun. I was just singing Lindsay Webster. She's going to be out there. I don't know if you know her, but she's a jazz singer, white girl. But, oh, my God, her music is so, I love her. She's going to be out here in November. And I want to go, but I don't want to go alone. But I love her so much. I just might go. But it's the, I don't know if it's the Hampton Jazz Festival, but the night before, who's going to be there? Shoot. Patrice Rushen. She's my favorite, too. And it's like, Patrice Rushen was the only person on that set, though, that I would want to see. I didn't want to see anybody else. But then the last night, Lindsay Webster's going to be there. And, what's his name? Another white dude, though. I lost it just that quick. Those two are going to be there. And somebody else on the last night. So I might just go. But, yeah. Love me some jazz, y'all. That's real music, y'all. Real music. DMW Shots. What's up, Mo? Sunday Fun Day. Hey. Can't show black unity on TV. That is part of it, too. For sure. That is part of it. If it looked like we aligning and, yeah. It's true. I remember when I went to NCO Academy and I learned so much about like mechanics and people that work on the flight line and their line of work and how everything is so segregated, right? There aren't many women that work in those fields, right? Like airplane mechanics and stuff like that. So anyways, there was this guy in my class. His name was John Cherry. He was real cool. And for some reason, the white boys that look like they kind of have a little bit of racist in them or they came from country background, they'd be the ones that be mainly trying to holler at me, right? Anyways, John Cherry was always in my face. But he shared a story one time because we were talking, one of the lessons was about discrimination, right? This is before DEI, all this was years ago. And John Cherry told a story about how if there were more than 2 black people on the same shift, they would separate them. And whenever there was a new person that would come into the unit, they would put them on night shift. He said they would separate whatever. He said, and anytime there was like 2 or 3, you know how when we, we like to congregate and shit, right? And just chop it up and just be having, He said anytime that would happen, the supervisor would come and break it up and find something stupid for them to do or whatever. Like and this is a white boy telling the shit that he, observed, so that shit is real. They don't ever want to see us getting too close because we might be plotting and planning some shit that's going to blow this all up. And that's why we got to stop talking about what we going to do, especially online. We really have to get back to the old school, meeting in person, secret locations, and making up plans and just executing, we got to do it. But ain't nobody trying to hear me, so, whatever. Who am I? Just the average black chick in America, just bumping her gums. You better go. MWR be having them tickets and events. I keep forgetting about going to MWR. There are always discounts and stuff like that. Instead, I'll be talking about, y'all got a military discount? I like, me too. I love Patrice Rushen. Oh my gosh, she is so fly. But I don't care too much for the other people that was on that list for that night. So it's like, do I want to? I gotta go, with the one. Gap Band was gonna be there. No, not the Zap Band. I'm not too much into the funk. Ask yourself why there is never an all-black fly crew. I will be the only black. Well, of course, yeah, Donovan, you're gonna always be the only. Yeah, in those fields. Yep, yep. That doesn't surprise me at all. I met a helicopter pilot this weekend. He was in the Army. He works now for staff something. He teaches, though, in Norfolk. And he said, I just transitioned into civilian. I said, now you get to wear a suit and tie. But yeah, he was a helicopter pilot for the Army for 25 years, I think he said. But yeah, in those type of fields, you're going to always be the only black. For one, a lot of us don't put in, for commissions like that. And then you have all these things stacked against you, just trying to get commission, And then when you get through, you like one of, so a lot of times you just have to be the ink spot. And then our job really is just to encourage others to do that, just to encourage others to do that. That's why I want my son to be either a pilot, a doctor. He wants to be an astronaut, so I push that. We do a lot of STEM, a lot of science stuff. Make him watch Neil deGrasse Tyson, which he loves, you know what I'm saying? So that's really what we can do. Encourage our kids to go into more STEM fields so that we have more representation of that, Who is that? Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I got to get out of here in a couple minutes, too. I got the military because of racism against me. I got a homeboy that was in the Navy. Some of the stories he told me, man, oh man, oh man. And I understand why he got PTSD. He went through a lot, and he was the only black officer, just like Donovan. What did he do? He does computer programming now. I don't know. I know him get me to lying, but he was one of the people that helped to steer the ship. They would look at the stuff and say, okay, we need to go here. There's an object here. We need to da-da-da. But there were times where he was the one that made the call, but the white counterpart got credit for it type shit, and a lot of discrimination, and he was the only black one. Yeah. But some of the stories he told me. So I understand, Judge. Yeah, I like Patrice Rushen too. Yep, Mike T. Michael says, what black character had the worst than Leon that day when he told Franklin how he really felt about him? Leon. Oh, Leon. That's the one that went to Africa, right? Yeah, Leon had it pretty bad. I mean, everybody in that situation was pretty effed up. On that show, everybody was dealing with something, But such is life. All we can do is the best we can with what we got, right? And learn from it. Everything is a lesson. It's either going to be a blessing or a lesson. And even when the answer is no or things don't work out, trust me, it was for a reason. It was for a good reason, especially if you're connected to God. He will reveal in time why. And I'm not saying that just because God blocks one thing that something better is coming along, but maybe just something different, or maybe just at that time you ain't ready for that. There's a lady on here, her channel is called Dodash. She gained like 20,000 new subscribers in the last like 2 weeks. And she says that faith is her currency, right? And so she encourages a lot of people that are older to get on YouTube and just do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Just try something different, something new. And so she was saying, what was she saying? I forgot my point while I was mentioning this lady. So there's a lot of people on here that do it because they want to be monetized, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Monetization, I think, is a good thing, especially for those that actually put in the effort, that come on here, they bare their soul, they tell everything, they're vulnerable, you know, and they really engage with their people, and they tell something that's going to be of use to somebody, you know. And that's what I hope, that when I come out here, that, you know, I have a positive aura about myself. I don't lie about anything. I don't exaggerate anything. I just tell it like it is, you know. And if what it is isn't enough or isn't good enough, then, you know, people have the autonomy to just click off, right? You know, but if people watch, they do. And if they want to hit the like button, which I'm asking you guys all now, please hit the like button, you know, they can or they won't, you know. But sometimes I look at some people who just do lives where they're playing music, and I'm thinking, how the fuck are they monetized, but they're playing other people's music and they're still getting paid? Or they'll sit there and they'll just read the chat. They don't have a topic. They don't talk about anything. They're not interesting. They're just, you know, I was like, but these people have so many views. Like, why? You know, and that was that envy spirit, you know, that popped up in me that I had to check. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, well, damn, when I come on, you know, at least I think about the topic. I try to put a different perspective out there. You know, I engage with the audience, like, what else? But then I had to think about it. Listen, it ain't my time for all that. You know, my friend Joe told me, said, Mo, if you did get a lot of subscribers, you probably wouldn't even know what to do with that right now. And he's absolutely right. You know, what's for me will be for me when it's supposed to be for me, you know? Because ain't no telling, you know, who I might become if I get monetized, you know? I am a genuine person, but I am human. And I remember when I was a senior airman, I was an E4. And this guy that I was dating was an E4. He was an E5. And he said to me one day, he said, Mo, he said, I'm going to be scared of you when you make E5. And I said, why? He said, because I could just tell you're going to be a bitch when you make E5. He said, you're going to abuse your power. And I said, what? And it hurt, because I'm like, I didn't know that I had even put off that type of energy, that once I got a little bit of something, that I would abuse that. Like, this is how you see me? Like, damn. But I tell you what, I'm glad he said that. You know why? Because I checked myself. In that moment, I said, you know what? Whatever it is that I've been doing, I need to stop it. And I started treating everybody with the same respect, regardless if you was an E1 or a fucking O4. I treated everybody exactly the same. And when I put on E5, I made it an extra point to be extra humble. I made it a point to check my attitude in the way that I treat people, only because of what he said. That is the only reason. To this day, I still don't know exactly what it was that I may have said or did to make him say that to me, but I'm glad he did, because it checked me. And it was in the front of my conscience when I did put on rank. I said, I'm not going to be like that. I had to prove it to him and to myself that I could be a better person. You know? And so I think it might be the same thing with this YouTube thing too. You know, I think I put out okay content. Of course, there's people that are better than me. There are people that are worse, right? But there's a reason why I am exactly where I am at right now. I'm not ready for whatever it is. I have to check myself. I have a lot of pride, a lot of ego. I already told you I'm a very competitive person, right? I'm not in competition with anybody online, because, you know, I know that there's certain things about me that make me special, and there's certain things about other people that make them special, right? So I can't compete where I don't compare. Some people just have thousands. I can't compete with that. So I don't even try to compare, try to compete, none of that. I know who I am, and I'm doing the best that I can, right? So when God sees fit for that to be whatever, even my endeavors on the outside that I'm trying to do slowly but surely, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason why I'm not at where I thought I should have been a year ago. I'm not ready for it. There's things I still got to work on inside here and here that's going to get me to that level. And I know that for a fact. I remember talking on live one time, and in the middle of my video, it came to me. God said, that's why. That's exactly why you ain't got what you. And I said, dang. I didn't say it out loud on the live, but I was thinking, I was like, okay, God. So then when that letter came saying you've been denied, I already knew it was coming, because he had already spoke to me and said, this is why you're not getting that, you know? But that's the connection I have with God. Y'all better tap in and you'll understand why certain things are the way that they are, and why they work out or why they don't work out. That was the day that Franklin shot him. You don't have me going back watching it again. It's been so long since I watched the episodes. But it is a good show. Dang it. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm going to have to rewatch it, and then we'll have to chop it up and talk about it. But I don't remember that one. Franklin shot Leon? I don't remember. I'm sorry. And I'm old, okay? So forgive me. Donovan says they do not want us in those fields as long as baby boomers. When I went through, our instructors are in charge. It was hell. Not as bad as Tuskegee Airmen, but they don't want us there, yeah? Yep. People don't want to let go of positions, just like in politics. And just like with these civilian peoples, I be seeing these GS 13, 14, 15, old as hell. It's like, go on somewhere, you know? People want to hold on and they don't want new fresh blood in, and they're going to make it bad for anybody else. Michael says, or Franklin when he got kidnapped and he also got wounded. Yes, that was probably that's the episode that sealed me in when him and Oso got kidnapped. Best acting ever. Hands down, best episode ever. Ever. Mike T says, show you right Sunday. But I got to get going, y'all. My son had to do a double lesson today, and I want to catch the tail end of it. Donovan, you and Dimitri going live tonight. I said I was going to try to make this whole weekend kind of not so much social media, but I'm going to tap in to watch you guys, of course. And then prayerfully I could just hop off and not be stuck scrolling, because once you guys go off, then I go back to my subscriptions, like, oh, somebody else put on a new video, let me watch, and then I'll clean up and have it on, and then it's just a routine until time to take care of my son and then go to bed. So I'm hoping that I can limit it. So you guys pray for me. Make sure you guys pray for all of the people that are affected by wars throughout the globe. People affected by this hurricane, natural disasters, you know, oftentimes because things don't touch us directly or indirectly, we don't think about it. We don't blink twice, but that is somebody's family who's been negatively affected, and the holidays are coming up and these people have to start all over, or they're going to have the holidays and bring the new year in without that loved one, because people actually did die. People are affected by these things. So let's always just be mindful and keep people around the world in our thoughts and in our prayers. It's so important to have, empathy and sympathy for other people, okay? Judge said people are wrapped up in their jobs. Is it? Yeah, facts. I could talk about that as a whole topic, Judge, because when I retired, literally my last day when I had my going away, I didn't end up having a retirement ceremony. I just had a quick little, because my mama was already gone, so I'm like, well, who am I doing this for? So I just had a going away, and they presented some gifts and stuff like that to me. And the very next day, my phone was silent the whole day. That was the first time my phone had not rang. Nobody texted. Sergeant, da-da-da-da-da-da. I need help. Can you find it? Da-da-da-da. My whole life was wrapped up in the identity of people needing me. They needed a problem solved. So to go from busy, 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 busy to identity crisis, right? And that's not the way to be, because there's so much more to life than what you do to make money. What's your character? Who are you as a person? And that's why I try to help my son figure out, who are you? What makes you you? Yeah, you're a fourth grader, but who are you? Right? It was Franklin and Lenny. Franklin and Lenny got kidnapped? What season was that? I just remember the one with him and Oso. I think that was like the second episode or something like that. Mike T says, sup, bro? Did Donovan, you said you're going to be on there tonight? Mike T, you going to be over there? Yeah, because it's 3:30. So Dimitri and Donovan come on in a couple hours. But are you guys going to have another video before then? Well, I'll just check my subscriptions and see. But I'm trying not to be on here. That's why I want you to tell me. What happened? Judge says, that's right. We all are warriors deep down. But we got to act like it. We have to exude warrior. We could say all day. Because there's a difference between talking and actually being, right? You could say you this, you could say you that. But are you? How do we know? Right? Based on your actions, based on how you treat yourself and how you treat others. The shit that comes out of your mouth. Are you though? You know, we could say, but what you doing about it? Mike said, I'm gonna be there. He said, I don't remember, it has been a while. I know, see, it's been a while since I watched. I think Lenny got kidnapped. And, Judge said, I got receipts for my battles. Yep. I know that's right. Yeah. We all got receipts. We just got to make sure we don't visit those receipts often, right? You know, that's a story to tell, a story to share, but we don't base our life on those battles. We don't justify where we are based on those battles. Everybody's had battles, right? But when you see better and you know that you can be better, be better. That's all we can do is be better. I try not to let any of my past shit hinder me from being the best. You know, what makes us a warrior, I think, is moving forward, you know, and not rehashing all of that old shit. That's what make you a warrior. That lets God know that we appreciate him and that we are gracious for where he has brought us. You know, you keep bringing up old stuff or whatever. You know, we got to be grateful for where we are now. Just the fact that he woke us up this morning. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, I think Franklin got them and he killed them. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. But I love the ones where Franklin gets redemption and he ends up getting the bad guy for sure, for sure. But y'all, let me go. Let me go get my son. I will talk to y'all later. Donovan, Mike T, Judge, maybe I'll see you over there. I will see you guys later tonight on Demetra Chase Chat. And I'll check in with you guys on another day. God bless you. Everything in life is a battle. In my view, it can be. It can be, especially if you let it be. If you allow people and the spirits that they have in them affect you, then yes, it can be a battle. But you got to believe in the Most High and you got to trust that he will guide your path. And you have to listen and tap into him and let him guide you. Because oftentimes our pride and our ego will have us just saying the first thing that's on our mind because we don't want the other person to think we're a punk. But that's not the way to be. You will be rewarded by your obedience to the Most High, even if it looks a certain way to another human. All right, y'all. Love you. Peace. Bye, Mike T.